Okay, and we are live here at the third creature creation. And tonight I have an all star cast. We have the wonderfully clever Teresa Bailey. We have the dashing Uzman Zanor. We have the enigmatic GJ Terrell. We have the dashing Uzman Zanor. And we have Bill Adams. Enigmatic GJ Terrell. We have the Uzman Zanor.
There's a bit of an echo.
He's got it on in the background.
We have the Uzman Zanor.
There's a bit of an echo.
He's got it on in the background.
Someone's got it up. There's a bit of an echo.
He's got it on in the background.
Someone's got it up. There's a bit of an echo.
He's got it on the background.
Does somebody have it on? Oh, there we go. Does somebody have it on a second device?
I do not.
Not me.
Okay, let's try this. Now see if the echo continues.
The echo has left the room.
It must be Teresa. Teresa, we think it's you. Now see if the echo continues.
The echo has left the room.
It must be Teresa. Teresa, we think it's you.
Okay, what do I need to do?
Continues.
The echo has left the room.
It must be Teresa. Do you have it on some other device?
What do I need to do?
Or have two open tabs? It must be Teresa. Do you have it on some other device?
There we
There
go.
we go.
There we go.
that's
I
all
had
good.
it open in two tabs. I'm sorry. That was my fault.
It happens. That's okay. It was really fun for a minute.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what's going on. That was my fault. I'm so sorry.
So that is the most unique intro we've had. So you've all at least seen one show, but in case someone here is new, I don't think anyone is, but in case you are, we're going to just go through the greatest hits real quick. So the first month in June when we did it, we made the wonderfully overpowered Triptychus Brittlefang with like 200 hit points. I tried very hard to weaken this thing, but I could not. And then let's see, present. Where'd I go again? I'll figure this out someday. And then last month we had the truly awesome Samboni with like 8 hit points, naturally aggressive towards everything it sees. Little tadpole with a clamshell living in the desert. So that is the 2 things we've made so far. So your charge is to come up with something wonderfully different and just not the, what did Rose say here? Not the elephantine armored razor venom death tusk creature. So if you can just do that, that'd be wonderful.
I mean, that's what I had in my mind when I signed up for this. So.
It's exactly what I pictured. Yeah. So
Okay, so
Show's done.
Yeah.
Teresa,
we got it.
tell us about what you do and why you are here. What wonderful works that you do that got you a coveted spot on this show. And coveted is completely sarcastic.
Well, I am a young adult epic fantasy author. I put my books up behind me so people can see them. I have one duology out, which is Spirits Entwined and Stars Calling, part of the Legend of Galleon series. And then I have another standalone epic fantasy, the one that has a little red wolf on it. That one's in the same fantasy world, but follows different characters. And then I have a historical fantasy novelette that's in the purple book in the background. So that's what I do. I write young adult epic fantasy books.
Awesome. Thank you. So we all know how this goes. Greg, would you like to go first? You have the 6 things here. You have terrain, size, strengths, weaknesses, diet, and active time. Pick a column and pick what one factor this creature is going to have.
Okay, sure. I think let's do I want to start with the terrain, I think, just because it's first column, and I think that'll really kind of inform a lot of the rest.
Okay.
So we're going to go marshland, the marshes.
Okay. Teresa, you're next in line. What would you like to choose?
I'd like to go with a strength for 400, please. No.
Okay, and what is the creature's strength?
I'd like to control elements. I think that might be fun in the marsh. Yeah. There's a lot of water and mud to sling around there.
Okay, Uzman?
Let's see, I'll pick a size.
Okay.
We'll go with human size.
And Bill, that leaves you to pick from the last three columns, whichever one you want.
I'm trying to decide if I want to be funny or if I want something cool.
Why not both?
I say we go for weakness.
Okay.
We're in the marsh. Weakness to heat.
Okay. Let's see. Now,
Son of a bitch.
so that means we have, for me, diet or active time. Do we have a preference which one you want me to pick and which one you want me to roll for?
I'd say dealer's choice, personally.
Okay, so for the diet, you have an herbivore. And let's see. So we have marsh, human size, controls elements. Weakness is heat. It's an herbivore. You know what? We're going to go with moonlight only is its active time.
Well, makes sense. It's weak to heat, so you know.
I'm being nice. You guys got a nice assortment there. So
yeah. I will say a lot of people saying should have gone huge. You know, depending on how this turns out, human size could be absolutely terrifying. So we'll see.
So talk it out now. You got your marsh living, heat hating, human sized creature that's an herbivore that's only out at moonlight and is weak to when it comes to heat. So what do we got? Talk it out. That's scary.
I'm so unoriginal. I just keep thinking that we've created a hag of some sorts. You know, that's what we've got. A marshy, human size, can control elements, comes out in the moonlight. So I wonder if we can kind of flip that on its head somehow, though.
Sorry, are we picking a weakness right now?
No, the weakness is heat. You have to come up with a creature that fills this brief so far. And then once you do, I'll start throwing monkey wrenches to make it more difficult because, you know, the ideas are just pouring forth as is.
When I think of a herbivore, I think of some sort of, for some reason, I have the land before time stuck in my head. Like the
dinosaur?
Specifically Littlefoot, yes, for some reason. So
I love Littlefoot, yes.
The only issue is they did have a sort of lizard creature for the first one, but you know, I think we could play with this, like some sort of human-sized Littlefoot. I'm willing to take other answers though, because I'll admit it's not the strongest.
I'm just putting down ideas. You all have to figure it out. So,
from Bill Marshag Adams.
Yeah, Marshag was someone else's too. I don't know. I really like the Littlefoot dinosaur. I could see him munching on herbs and slinging mud. That seems cool, right?
Okay.
But how would they control what would control the elements do?
True. So how would they control the elements? Are we thinking magic, or are we thinking like a natural sort of they use urine to cool themselves down sort of thing? Like, how are we?
I was envisioning magic, but you know,
Sure,
I'm open to
Magical
other-
urine. Okay, we
Yeah.
can't cross that off the list.
What-
Okay. There's-
A magical casting raptor. God,
There.
that's scary.
Yeah.
I like the dinosaur idea. What if it's
Okay.
like something like an ankylosaurus that has like plates or something, and that somehow contributes to the weather controlling? I don't know.
Only if Mike can spell that properly enough.
Yeah, that's never going to happen.
I've got no idea personally.
There's an N in there.
Yeah, I think there's an N between the A
N.
and the K.
I'll say Nick spelled it for us. There you go. Go in the chat.
Ankylosaurus,
Moonlight.
Ankylosaur.
And
You're
Something
up
like
tonight.
really armored. And
So, like, what if his armor like pops open and like
Hmm.
absorbs the moonlight
Oh,
for
Okay.
some reason,
Okay,
for some
okay.
cool.
thing?
And like that's where it like gets its power from. Like on
So-
moonless nights, is he less powerful then?
He would have to be, because he wouldn't even come out, right? Technically.
Yep.
So sort of like a reverse Venusaur is what it sounds like for
That's what
making.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was
Yeah.
Yeah, so instead of the solar charge, we're getting the moonlight charge. I love it.
Exactly.
Oh god.
It's like a dinosaur
And he
Wally.
lives in a Pokeball. Is that?
No Pokeballs here. We got to call them something else for trademark purposes.
Oh,
They'll be-
okay. Yes.
They'll be Usman balls, which I think might get you demonetized. I don't know if you're monetizing, Mike, but
Oh yeah.
So grilled cheese armor. I would feel very sorry for this creature if that's what it had.
it would get
That would
consumed.
get really soggy. Yeah.
Wouldn't be able to grill it though. He's weak to heat.
That's true.
Shrivel up and die. Yeah, armor pops open, absorbs the moonlight, releases it via steam and heat, maybe. I don't know, some sort of. I'm thinking definitely a release of energy to control the elements. I think makes a lot of sense.
I like that. Kind of like envisioning like steam coming out of his little nostrils. Like a little tank. Yeah.
Yeah.
Question: can it explode?
If
If it
has
absorbs too much moonlight, does it
It's
sort of
your
like an electrode, since we're on the Pokemon?
Maybe that's its ultimate attack, something like Soldier Boy style.
That's what happens if there's a solar eclipse and it comes out. Then it explodes because
Ooh. too much magic. I
There
like
we
it.
go. And that's a very dangerous night to be in the marsh. Yeah.
oh,
The monster is fog bound.
Oh, I like
and
that he
then-
like hides in like a cloud of fog like before he emerges. That sounds cool.
Well, there's your elements controlling the elements.
That's it. It is human sized. I would imagine that it's probably amphibious if it lives in the marsh. Like it can do water and land. I don't know why I felt the need to explain what amphibious was to all the adults in the chat. I did. So
you just want to see if I could spell it, is what it was.
I can fact check you. I got no clue. Hey, I'll be honest. I'm not the strongest speller when it comes
It's
to.
wrong. Trust me, it's wrong.
It can like stick its head above the water, like the rest of it like submerged, like a little submarine like periscope thing going
If it's
on.
a herbivore, aren't there what are they called, like century flowers? The flowers that only bloom like once every 100 years when the moon is just in there. Yeah, maybe that thing like supercharges it. You know, if you get
Nice.
the hold of that thing, you're in trouble. Because that's super powered by the moon.
Is it a rodent of unusual size in the fire swamp?
No, it's not a rodent, and it's a pretty average size. Thank you. It's not even a swamp; it's a marsh. So, and also, I'm not positive I get the reference. So,
Wet-
What?
I think I
wet-
do. It's Princess Bride, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Whew.
We're going to kick you off the show if you got that one.
It was, man. I'm not the best with references, so I tried.
Okay, so before I start throwing some monkey wrenches at you, now that we have a viable creature, Greg, tell us what you've written and what you've done and why you were forced to come onto this show.
It seems like I'm becoming a channel favorite. I don't know. I've been on a few times for a few different formats now. So I've done my debut novel, came out in May. It's Bloodwoven. It has been eliminated from the self-published fantasy blog off. It was ruthlessly cut. Actually, the cut was very kind. It was I couldn't have asked for a better review to send me on my way. Aside from that, just announced today. Well, the book has been announced for a while, but Bitter Ends, my novella, is officially entered into the speculative fiction indie novella contest, Sphinx, which is baby box that I think they call it for short. Thank you, Nick. Bloodwoven does rule. That made me think of like, oh, Boyle rules, if anyone gets that reference. But that's what I worked on. I just write stuff, and apparently I hit a pretty good pace. And book 2 arcs are going to go live soon, and book 3 is 50% done. So that's what I do.
Okay, so pick a number 1 to 6, Greg, and I will roll and see what your first monkey wrench is.
Let's go 4. Let's go 4.
Okay, 3. Once again, your creature has a clamshell.
Oh, jeez.
It's in line with the armor, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's just a really big clamshell with spikes on it.
I was going to ask, is it an all-encompassing clamshell, or is it like, is it just attached to its tail maybe?
So, maybe the plate just opens up this way, and that's how it gets the moonlight. It can have like reflectors on the inside to
We've made a cloister now.
I like, yeah.
It's just all the Pokemon. Very cool. Okay, I like it. Yeah, the clamshell.
I do like that idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish this was like an actual carnivore, because then you can put like the clam on the tail, and people or creatures would think that would be the.
It was like bait, right?
Oh, like
So
a
like
Venus
reverse
flytrap
angler.
sort of thing.
Yeah. Or like a anglerfish or whatever the hell those scary things are called. The little
Yeah.
lights.
Daddy Samboni.
I just saw Dave's comment. Bitter Ends is not one word. He's messing with me because a lot of people spelled Bloodwoven separate. I'm like, no, it's one word. So he's funny. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate that.
Okay, and Bill, pick a number between 1 and 6, but not 3. No, not 4. My bad.
6.
Okay, and another 3. It is the Sandbony. It is naturally aggressive.
This goes completely against Littlefoot.
I know, right? I was thinking now it can't hide in the water and like ambush or something.
Ambush a plant because
There
it's
you
nervous.
go. You never know. Yeah, right.
Oh, the algae was scared. But Bill, before we go, tell us about why you're here. What did you do wrong?
I don't know. What did I do wrong, Mike?
You became an author for one.
Yeah. I should probably turn off my green screen since I got wrong one. Since I actually have 2 green covers that never show up. So I have 2 books out. I have an adult book and a middle grade book.
Yep.
See them here. So the middle grade book right here, The Tenacious Tale of Tana the Tender Sword, I wrote with a good buddy of mine. Came out in April. And then The God's Blood Tragedy just came out last month, and it's an adult dark fantasy that I've been working on for many, 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 many years. And they're both green covers, so I can't have the green screen on.
Very nice.
And I don't know why I'm here, though, because apparently people need people to fill up these interviews, and I just get called in as backup.
I feel bad because every time I put a comment up, I cover your face.
That's fine. It's
You could
smart to do
swap
that.
him and I if you want. That's fine. give him a little more screen time at the top.
No, that's all right.
Okay, so now let's talk it out. You have your perfectly reasonable amphibious littlefoot dinosaur that absorbs moonlight, that is now naturally aggressive and has a clamshell. So
not looking too good for a little guy. I'll be honest with you, or human-sized guy. Being naturally aggressive while also a herbivore. I'm trying to think if there's any. Aren't rhinos like pretty aggressive and also herbivores?
Hippopotami.
Hippos
Oh,
are
hippopotamus. Yeah.
hippos are pretty gnarly.
But I
So,
think it'd be
based
funnier
off
if
of
he was
that-
like naturally aggressive to like other people trying to steal his plants.
Yeah, that's
So
Oh,
he's
so
tough.
he like hoards plants.
He's like he's hoarding his little nuts or something that he's gonna eat from the trees.
so it's
Like
like
a
a
squirrel.
little old lady who has a garden and just sits there and yells at you if you try to walk through her yard because
Exactly.
My God. Yeah.
Exactly.
like, yeah, get off my grass. Oh my God, yes, I'm loving this creature already.
Get off my clamshell. That's what he's.
Yeah. I think
And you can like snap it to be aggressive, like go back and
Yeah.
forth.
Oh, yeah. Maybe it's like on like like it bends over its back and it just like snaps at you.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's armored helps with it being naturally aggressive, so it's a little bit more protected. Yeah, and it probably does the clapping, the snapping of the shell as a way to like intimidate, right? Like a lot of animals will do noises in the wild, so it definitely does that as a way to sort of scare off people before it turns to violence. That's just like phase one of the aggression.
And it like charges. Maybe it like runs into things as a form of aggression after it's tried to scare you away.
And maybe
Absolutely.
the clapping can tie into the elemental control somehow.
Ooh,
Oh.
yeah.
Like gust of wind or something.
Yeah, tries to blow you away. Yeah.
So kind of like that Pokemon attack, air with the bird Pokemon, right? Right, Greg?
Yeah.
I think it's literally called Gust. Yeah.
I've never played Pokemon before. I have no idea.
Well, you're not going to want to after this episode. So.
yeah. This creature just ruins Pokemon because it's going to be so overpowered.
Yeah.
Whirlwind, yeah, that's another one.
Me too.
Schmudging a curmudgeon.
Self promo.
Okay.
You can totally make like little Pokemon cards on these like websites, right? Because we're making.
Okay, so I think we handled that pretty well, and by we I mean you all. So that means it's time for someone else to pick. Uzman, pick 1 to 6, but not 4 and not 6.
We'll go with 5.
Okay. And you get a 10. It has a venomous stinger.
Nice.
All herbivores need
It's
venomous
perfect for
stingers.
like an ankylosaur because they got that like little tail thing. Yeah.
Alrighty. And Greg, you've not picked yet, have you?
I was the first one.
Okay.
No. Well, I don't remember. I'll be honest with you. I picked the terrain.
Or was
I
it
don't think I've done
Tracy?
anything since then.
I haven't picked a number. If that's what
Okay,
you're
sorry.
asking.
You, Greg, I get you too confused,
Well, we look similar. It's fine.
So 1, 2, or 3, which number would you like?
3.
And I rolled a 3. I'm big on rolling 3s today. 1, 2, 3. It hibernates in the swamp.
During the day.
During the day. Yeah, we kind of already had that.
See, this makes it no fun. It's too easy. Okay.
We had to get one.
Who has not talked about their book yet? Has everyone talked about their book? Well, then that means it's Uzman.
I don't
Yeah, I was
have.
about to say you haven't had Uzman go.
I
Tell
don't
us
have.
about your channel.
Yes, my channel is Bards and Books, where I talk about books. I review a lot of books. I talk about music as well. I'm mainly into metal music, mainly into fantasy, all kinds of fantasy. I like a lot of dark fantasy, grim dark. Yeah, that's what I do. It's kind of stuff I like. But I read all kinds. I read getting into sci-fi, getting into horror, some nonfiction, historical fiction. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. So going through a lot of self-published work right now and reviewing those. So yeah, it's pretty fun.
Nice. And Bards and Books, correct?
Yes.
And how many subscribers do you have?
I believe I'm around 730 right now.
Wow. One day we will be at that number. I mean, you'll be at 2,000 then, but that's fine.
Yeah. Well, I'm very sporadic with my uploading, so I'll take like months off sometimes. Yeah.
Okay, so I think we have a functioning monster so far, so we need to fix that. So 1 and 2 left. I will roll for number 2 because one of those is taking an idea from the peanut gallery. So see if I get a 10. Oh, a 9. Okay, so its venomous stinger is also, it has a rattle for a tail. There's a lot of things going on in this tail.
Wow.
This creature makes a lot of noise.
Yeah. He's not very stealthy.
Oh, it's a herbivore, so And then that leaves number 1 for me. I get to pick. We're not going to be gelatinous. That's too much like the Sandboni. I could pick aversion to water. But we'll go with, I don't know, scared of loud noises or blind. Which one do we want? Let's.
Well, if it's like an
Let the
old
chat
lady
decide.
curmudgeon.
I like the blind. I don't know. Anybody else?
Blind it is. Okay, so now this thing that makes a lot of noise is blind. It's naturally aggressive, though, with a venomous stinger and a rattle for a tail. Its weakness is heat. It releases steam or fog. It has armor plate and a clamshell that somehow fits in there. I'm not sure exactly how yet, but and it controls elements, and it's human-sized. Well, anything we're missing here?
I think it makes its rattle like when it's trying to scare things away, when things are on its lawn that it doesn't like.
Exactly. It's got an attitude.
Exactly.
It's like Clint Eastwood.
The Clint Eastwood of marsh herbivores. So what is the body shape of this thing? I'm assuming it's not 2 legs, or is it? Is it 4 legs? Is it an ankylosaurus still?
I imagine 4.
Yeah, I mentioned 4.
Is it still an ankylosaurus?
Yeah.
I was still
Roughly.
kind of thinking that. Yeah. And then the
Yeah,
clamshell's like on its back, like the opposite direction.
And it opens like this and can collect the moonlight.
Yeah. It probably has like a pearl that collects the moonlight. I think that'd be a nice touch.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Personally.
And like the pearl glows with like the more moonlight it has. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and
Well,
that's the
this
thing
is
that explodes
amphibious.
and makes the
Yeah,
shrapnel
there we
of the
go.
body. Yeah.
It's amphibious. It probably shouldn't have 4 legs.
What do you think? Oh, well,
No.
frogs are amphibious and have
Humans have
4
like
legs.
4 legs, and they like.
Do the front count as arms?
But like, if this is going to be a big, bulky creature, it's not going to really live in the marsh.
Hippos have 4 legs.
Yeah, but they live in the marsh.
Nah, I don't
No.
think so. I think they live in rivers.
Well, it's kind of marshy. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Enjoy D&D, Dave.
Thank God he's leaving.
Yeah, this guy.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have to get him on this show sooner or later.
You won't have to get anybody else on because they'll talk for all. That's right. Nick. That's right.
So I need a description because I'm going to actually type this up and send it to my artist to draw this thing. So I need to tell him what to draw. So
what-
Ankylosaurus with a clamshell that opens up like this to collect the moonlight. Has a pearl, 4 legs. Are we still 4 legs? Or are we taking Nick's idea of 19 legs? What are we doing?
Probably not 19. So what's the argument for taking it down to like 2 legs?
Well, it's just human size.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just
Like a bear would be human sized.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
A fat human. Like me.
Oh,
Black
okay.
bear.
I was like, I don't know, man. I've never, to be fair, I haven't seen a bear outside of captivity ever. So, I'm like, I trust you.
I'm just like picturing like the shape of like a seal or like a sea lion,
Ooh.
Okay.
like with like front legs, but almost kind of like a tail. And that's where like the clam shell is.
So like flippers almost, and a tail.
Let Bill cook. Okay. We are, Nick. Thank you.
I don't know. That's just I'm like envisioning like this weird looking creature in the middle of the marsh. Is it gonna look like a 4-legged hippo?
Is it still armored, or is it just the clamshell for the armor?
I was imagining that the clamshell was like the kind of like a there's a word I'm looking for that I'm blanking on. Sort of. And then it still also has its armor. Like it's just kind of like rocky appendage clamshell. So maybe it's not wholly amphibious. Maybe it sort of hides using the clamshell to look like a boulder or something.
So I have an idea to pitch for you. It has a rattle for a tail, so if the clam is there, it can be like a flamenco dancer with the snapping.
Oh.
So it can be a flamenco seal.
Flamenco seal.
An armored flamenco seal. Just an idea.
I'm not against it. I'm not against it.
I'm still liking the clamshell with the moonlight and the pearl, though, somehow, too. I like both those ideas.
It could have 2 clamshells.
You got 2. All right.
2 clamshell. Now you're being ridiculous.
As long as it's heavily armored, I think I'm good with anything else.
So a Sealinko, according to Isaac. And it's
Alex,
already
it's already a Pokemon. The seal with the clamshell is already a Pokemon? That must be a new generation one.
Oh, see, I'm so old. I'm like, what is this Pokemon you're speaking of?
Well, it's a little bit like Digimon.
See, what about the clam shell is on its tail, and that pearl is also the stinger. So like it's like curled down, and that's where the moonlight hits it. But then if somebody comes and gets on his lawn and steals his plants, he comes up and.
So the venom is like concentrated moonlight, sort of. That like makes people super sick. That'd be kind of. I mean, it's magic. The pearl is for sure bait. I think it. I think that was always sort of a unspoken implication. Yeah.
Why does an herbivore need bait?
For all the plants.
It's naturally aggressive, so it needs things to yell at.
And also, and also, decomposing bodies feed the plants. So.
Okay. So that's how it's getting fertilizer.
Oh,
for sure. Yeah. For
Greg,
sure.
Oh,
Greg's
yeah.
out here
really
doing science stuff.
Yeah.
Like the Native Americans would bury the fish before they plant the corn seeds. I see where you're going. Okay.
Exactly. Yep.
So it likes to lure things, then kill them, and then leave them there to
fertilize
the garden. There we go.
And as a
it kills them with like blast of elemental magic from its moonlight that it's saved up in its pearl tail.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yes.
It's pretty badass.
So pearl tail that claps.
The clamshell.
Yeah.
That's the noise, like you said.
Okay. The
draws
flamenco.
him in, but he's also blind, so that's why he has to have the noise.
Like a sort of echolocation. Sort of.
Murderous bee.
He can use his tail as like a cane to help just a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Did we decide on the legs?
I don't know that we did. I'm fine with it not having, or if it's going to be 2 legs that comes up on land, sort of like a seal. Yeah.
What if it's like the
Sea
front?
lions.
The front end is like 2 or 4 legs or something, and the back half is like long seal-like or something. Would that work?
So you want front legs and not flippers?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
and
think
where,
legs, not flippers.
and where does it go to hibernate?
Wherever it wants, obviously.
It could be like under the water, so
I
it's
was
like
going to say that's where the amphibious
Yeah.
part comes in.
Yeah.
Hibernates under the water.
And it just like nose sticks up above the.
yeah, like a little periscope like thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it probably burrows like under the silt and stuff just to stay cool, I imagine.
Mhm.
Oh, because it
And
doesn't
then
like
it sort of
heat,
looks
yeah.
like a rocky carapace, armored
Okay.
carapace down there.
So does it have like spikes on its little armor, or is it just like a smooth armored shell?
Yeah, does it have like scoots like on an alligator, or is it just a smooth clamshell? Or no,
Could
the
be
clamshell's on the tail. So with
Could
the
be
pearl.
alligator-like, scale-like. I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of like that alligator scale look.
So, Greg, you're in Texas, right?
Yes.
Are there alligators near you?
I don't think so. None that I've seen. Maybe. Might be hiding in a bush. I don't know.
So you don't wrestle them on the weekend or anything?
No, you're thinking of Florida. That's where they do alligator wrestling.
Yeah,
Oh, and
Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Yeah.
Louisiana
The
too.
bayou.
Yeah, I've been down to Louisiana. I've definitely seen. I guess it's alligators down there. I always forget
It's alligators.
Okay, yeah. Between crocodiles and alligators. So, yeah, I've seen them in the water and stuff, and I don't mess with them. They can have it.
EL wants to know where, because they're common all the way up to Trinity, wherever Trinity, Texas is.
I'm in the greater Houston area. Sort of like spring, without giving away too much information, but specifically, start like narrowing in even more. Like, yeah, yeah. I haven't seen any like in the parks and stuff near us. Actually, now that I think about it, I do think I've seen like watch for gator signs, but I've never actually seen one. If that makes sense. They've probably seen me though.
I've only seen.
They can't miss that shirt.
It's my wife got it for me, and it says like create all over it. And I'm like, oh, creature creation. I gotta wear this.
Hey,
Makes sense.
someone put an effort here.
Gator. Oh yeah, that's me. Good old Gator Terrell.
Gator Jack.
Ooh, buddy, I've been waiting my whole life for this. Make a name for myself.
I've only ever seen Floridians wrestle gators. I haven't seen people from Louisiana do it. I think that's just a special Florida man sort of thing.
You never seen that history show? They catch the gators and
Oh,
for like 20
With
years.
them in the accident. Oh no.
oh. Okay, so we have 2 front legs. We have a tail. We have the clam shell on the tail with the pearl that claps like a flamenco. It's naturally aggressive. I have clamshell down twice for venomous stinger. What am I missing? Naturally charges. No, well, I don't know.
Blind.
I can't wait to see this thing.
I'm excited.
Okay, so it tends its own garden. It kills creatures. I have to have enough to tell my artist. So he's like, what were you consuming last night, Mike? Is what he's going to ask.
Well,
I mean, if he comes up with something with this.
So it'll be interesting. And I'll have my friend at work will do a D&D write-up and give you hit points and all that stuff. And you all can critique it all. So I think that has this pretty much finished. So this is when I am out of things to talk about. So I say, what is everyone reading now?
Bill, can you hold up your book real quick? So that's
show up. But
oh, true. I forgot your green screen. I'm currently reading The God's Blood Tragedy. I'm about 85% done on the Kindle, so I'm almost done with it. My reading time has been greatly reduced, and then I've got next up on the list some other of the Secret Scribes books, and then also some novellas that I want to get to. Got to scope out some of the competition for the Sphinx. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, E.L. Montague has his book in there, To Catch a Witch, which I've read. It's actually very good.
Yeah, I enjoyed that too. Yeah.
And I'm blanking on everyone else who has something in there. But anyway, good luck to you. I will not have anything there. I will be watching and cackling as people get kicked out. But
Yeah.
I will have my book in Spacebo, so my turn to be diminished will come very soon.
And that's the Haley's Traveler. Am I pronouncing it right? Am I saying it right?
Yeah, it's on my list. Should be able to get to it soon.
Blood,
So-
Love, and Love.
Alley Traveler, and then EL's new collection. I'm going through that right now in audio. Yeah, and then I got a bunch more self-pub planned just to, I got Tim's new version, the new version of his book, TJ McKay. Yeah, a bunch of others. And then I want to get back to First Law. I'm very excited to get back to First Law.
I love First Law. I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it.
Ugh.
I'm one of those few people that didn't care for First Law trilogy.
You and me
I
both.
remember that in the chat. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
It's 3 books where nothing happens.
Yeah. I'm with you, Bill. I've only read the first 2, and I was like, so someone tell me, do Glocka and Logan Nine Fingers ever meet, ever? And
Yes. Yeah, they have children with each other. It's a slow burn.
I mean, Glocka is a great character. He's the best part about that whole trilogy, in my opinion. But the rest of,
I'm big
Great
on
writing.
characters.
Great
I'm big on watching character growth, and character work is huge for me. So I think that's why I enjoy it a lot.
well, Giselle never grew, though.
It was
I don't know if I'd
interesting.
say that wrote
He
you.
went through something. I think in the middle book, he had some growth for sure. It's just that
then he
ending, the last book. Did you read the last one?
Yeah, I read all 3 of them.
Okay. The last, I think he goes through some significant growth. It's just what's his name? The guy, Bazal.
I couldn't
Mage,
tell.
The Magi guy. He just,
yeah.
the ending is
Oh, Baez.
unexpected. Baez, there you go. Yeah. He just, yeah.
Oh,
It's just unexpected, the ending.
that's fair.
Yeah. But I like unexpected, stuff where you can't even tell where it's going, and then just all these twists and turns. I'd say there's a bit of a plot, a little bit.
I think it's hard to say which I liked more. The Age of Madness trilogy was really, really good. And there's definitely more of a plot to that, and it takes some of the characters from the previous and sprinkles them in for name recognition and some of the fallout from the events of First Law. But something about First Law, it stuck with me really well. But I could definitely understand feeling like there wasn't enough substance to sink your teeth into plot wise, for sure.
Yeah.
I could see that complaint, but
So that's on our rules on our show now. Is I don't ask Ro
Don't
about
forget.
A. You missed it all. The armor-plated, rattling-tailed, seal-like creature that's an herbivore and hibernates. Oh yeah, it's
Yeah, we said Tim's name 3 times in a dark bathroom, circling. Yeah, saw him in the mirror, jump scared.
Oh. So Bill, how about you? What are you reading?
I just finished. I'm gonna cross some lines here. I just finished a break-in book, Molten Flux by Jonathan Weiss. It was awesome.
Really?
It's like Mad Max Desert Wasteland meets like a very rusty, dark Howl's Moving Castle. It was really good. And I know he's got one of his novellas is in the Baby Bow. So
Yep.
It's not in our group because we're Secret Scribes are judging. So that's what's going to be up on my plate in the near future with all these is reading a bunch of novellas that are in there.
Not
so
mine.
you're actually reading for the Sphinx?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Secret Scribes has a judging group, but Greg's not in it because he submitted his book for it, so he can't. But yeah, we got our group this week or just today actually. And there's a bunch of big names, so looking forward to them.
So do you have they haven't assigned the books yet, have they? The novellas?
Yeah, they did today.
They have?
Yeah.
Aren't they still accepting more? I guess we'll just throw them in on the no.
No, there
They
was
hit the
100
100.
total.
They hit, okay. Let's see. Teresa, how about you? What are you reading?
I'm currently listening to on audiobook Dragonsteel Prime by Brandon Sanderson. So that's like his it's a book that he wrote before he wrote like the Stormlight Archive series. So it's not like his real published of that. It's like his first go at the Stormlight Archive series. And since I've already read, what he has of the Stormlight Archive series, it's been really interesting seeing what like his original ideas was, especially like being an author. It's like sometimes you write something the first time and you think it's like good, and then you read it again and you're like, maybe not. Yeah. And so this was sort of like his, maybe not. And then he stepped it up and wrote like, with Kaladin and the rest of the crew there. But you can definitely see I haven't finished it yet, but I mean, there you can see all like the parallels between like Jarek, who's the main character in that book, and Kaladin, who's the main character in the next one, except for he made him like a young adult, like in the Dragonsteel Prime, where he's like more adult in the books that he actually finally released, and the magic system's slightly different. Have you guys read read the Brandon Sanderson Stormlight Archives? Mm-hmm. So like instead of the gem hearts and stuff that they collect, it's like Dragonsteel that they collect from the Shattered Plains. But the mechanism, you can tell it's all like great. Like, I mean, if I wrote his Dragonsteel Prime, I would still be,
happy with it.
Yeah, exactly. His trash would be my treasure. So
has anybody read The Exile of Zanzibar by Daniel Maidman?
It's on my TBR.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just wrapped it up. It's absolutely fantastic. His prose is amazing. It's a great work. Really good.
I had that on my list like last summer. I was going to read it and just didn't, and I'd forgotten about it till you said. I was like, wait, I've heard of that. But I told myself I was going to read books by the Tims, Tim Wolf and Tim McKay. And then I was like, oh, Darktown is on audiobook. I can just listen to this instead. So that's kind of how my selection goes. I decide what I want, and then I pick something different.
Well, Tim's novella has audiobook.
The Whisper That Replaced God.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to have to, get that as soon as the show's over.
Yeah, you guys sold me on that one. I've already got the first 2 books in his Age of the Maelstrom series. Is that the title of the series?
It's the Legacy of Balaam.
Yeah.
Legacy of Balaam. So I've got the first 2. I've been so busy with the Scribes books. I haven't actually had a chance to read those, but I've got those, and I know Age of Arrogance just released, and gotta work my way through it. But yeah, I'm sorry, I said that to say, like, yeah, in the chats and stuff, you guys really sold me on at least checking out Whisper That Replaced God, because it sounds really interesting. So
it's quite different to his main series.
Yeah, you mentioned, you gave it credit.
I really like his books, so
yeah. You said it still sounded like Tim. I think it was like how you worded it. Like it's very different, but
it's
a
Tim Wolf production. That's what it is. That's what I call
it. Yeah.
So, and friend of the show, Laura Huey, her book has become a semifinalist.
I saw
Sunset Tavern, Memoir of a Dragon.
So exciting.
One of my 2 favorite books of the year so far that I've read. So
you read 2 books and those are your 2 favorite?
Yeah, that's you got him on that one.
So that and E.L. Montgomery, or E.L. Montague, not Montgomery.
Montague.
This is my other favorite book of the year. So, and they're so wildly different from one another. They're not even close. But hey, good books are good books. And I hope
get fog bound.
If Laura wins, and I can just tell me I picked that book out long before Spiffbo even started. So
way before it. Yeah. If I'm just glad that was the panel that we were on, and so it's really cool seeing her progress to the next round. And then Nick's still in the competition, so I might just be the only loser who got cut from that panel you did.
Oh, let me tell you my story about last year in there. So I was sitting there, I was like, man, all these people have to get cut. Let's get some people cut. And right before I had to go to work, I was like, I got a couple minutes. Let me see. And I pulled it up, and they said, Fantasy Faction is announcing cuts. I'm like, all right, that's my group. Who's getting cut? They said, here's the first 5. We'll put them in alphabetical order. And Becoming a Druid was the first one. I was like, huh. Okay, I'm going to work then.
Yeah, we very similar. We were discussing, because there were a slew of posts on the day that I got cut. So we were talking about in our group a few of our members that got cut. I was like, oh no, that sucks, And then I think Dave was like, oh, did you not see yet? And I was like, did I not see what? Because it was super early. It was like 7 a.m. So the fact that they posted already caught me off guard. And so I pull it up already thinking I got cut. And then I read the review and I'm like, maybe I didn't get cut. This is a pretty good review. And then get to the bottom and it's not me. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And I was on the phone with my buddy at the time while I'm like, I'm like trying to multitask. I'm in the parking lot and I'm reading it. And he's telling me some horrible stuff happening to him. Like he's going through it, but I'm also like, yeah, that sucks, bud. I'm dealing with my own stuff at the time. So after I finished reading it, I put the phone down. I'm like, hey man, remind me again what just happened to you. I felt so bad, but I was in my own little bubble for like 5 minutes while my heart was being dashed. And then I was fine, because it's like, you move. You got to keep moving forward.
Yeah, I can't even imagine like being at that stage. Like I'm writing right now. Like I just started my writing journey. It's on and off. I just got a little bit done, but to be at the stage that you guys are at and to have that sort of anxiety, I don't know how I would deal with that.
The first time is the
All
worst.
the alcohol.
If I'm in it again, I'll be like, yeah, I'm going to get cut. Let's just decide what day it's going to. But I mean, literally, Ro and I started a YouTube channel because I got into Twitter and started talking to authors and said, wow, we have a chance of actually talking to authors more than once a month. We were worried if we could do 2 shows a month will we have enough people as guests? And now we've done like 100 and some odd shows. But yeah, I mean, it's all about the exposure. Remember, you get a selfie stick if you win. So yay.
Yeah.
We could all take pictures in our car like Nick does.
Like, yeah. I think my favorite like meme sort of like the shit post I ever did was I just took a picture of Nick that he had holding his book, and I just really crappily put Bloodwoven over the top of it. And I was like, hey guys, read my book.
Timothy, I'm with you. I'm going to have to be in the Sphinx next year so I can get eliminated. Ugh.
Hadn't the car selfies.
Love Tale of Two Curses. Fun listen to everyone. Okay. I just want to need another book on my TBR. I'm very good at buying books, not that good at reading them.
I remember on Bloodwoven's launch, you had mentioned that you also tend to DNF a lot of books.
Yeah. I have not started Bloodwoven, so I haven't DNF'd. It's a peremptory, DNF.
Yeah.
I haven't read a word.
I was seeing if I could tease it out of you real quick. Like,
It was awkward when we were talking to the Spiffbo 9 finalists because I read 5 of those books and 2 of them I completed. Only one of them I liked. I DNF'd the other 3, and I'm like, these are the 10 best. There's only one that I actually kind of like, and the rest of them I'm like, I don't know. So it's all subjective.
Yeah, that's just how it goes. You see some books get cut from Spiffbo and then move on to the next stage of BBNYA or whatever, and vice versa. So it's all, based on the judge that you get and if they like it. And, some of it has to be quality because if you don't meet that minimum bar of like presentation and editing and stuff, but is it a badge of honor?
Nick, you have not achieved that badge yet. I have not started Fogbound or whatever bound yet.
Whatever bound.
I will tell you, though, it got very awkward when we were interviewing one of the Spiffbo 9 finalists because I told him that I had been reading his book. And I was like, any questions before I go? He goes, yeah, what do you think of my book? And I'm like, I hate it. I can't say that. I'm like, well, I like this about it, and I'm not finished yet. And I'm like, and I'm never going to finish. But, oh, yeah. So now I've learned that if I'm reading your book, I'm not going to tell you when I interview you unless I've finished it. Otherwise, it's, I'm going to say I've never even started. And GJ, that's really true for you.
Okay. I was about to say, no, but jokes aside, I don't think I would ever put an interviewer on the spot like that either, though, to be fair, because that's kind of, if someone finished the book, they would tell you that or in your case, if you had started it and wanted to let me know, you would tell me, you know what I mean? Like, so putting an interviewer or anybody on the spot like that's a little weird,
but yeah, that was after it was over, I was like, bro, I hated it, but I couldn't tell him that. Did it come off as me not like loathing?
That's why I don't mark like on my Goodreads page like what I'm reading, because I've been on a DNF train like lately. It's been bad. Aside from the Scribes books, which I'm forced to read because I'm in it. No, I'm joking. I like them all so far.
He's forced.
Yeah, I've been DNFing like pretty popular indie books a lot lately, and it's just like can't get into them. I'm not going to waste my time.
So I do have to tell Nick here. I talked to Andrew Wizard, and he is saying he was on Mike's show, and they're talking or whatever. And Mike's like, "Yeah, I got special guest or whatever." And he's like, "So Andrew, what do you think of Ryan Cahill's books?" And Andrew's like, "I thought it was a boring Aragon. Didn't really care for it. It's kind of long." And then there pops Ryan Cahill on screen, and he's like, "What am I supposed to do?" So I just continued with, "Yeah, I really didn't like this book. I thought it was kind of boring."
Dang, dude, I feel like that's a bait and switch. That kind of sucks. But I mean, stick to your guns. If you don't enjoy something, don't act like you did. Obviously, But that's kind of maybe he would have worded it differently if he didn't know he was like right there on the stream.
So you guys has anyone been eliminated from BBNYA? Because I just got eliminated from it, but I was kind of hoping that they would give me like feedback. So I was hoping, like, do they give feedback from there?
I don't know.
Or have no one been eliminated from that yet?
Haven't been published long enough to be on.
I have.
Yeah, I missed the window.
BBNYA. I will not do it again. You get so very little out of it.
Oh, really? So they don't really give you much feedback?
You can. Nick in the chat said you can ask for feedback.
Yeah, and I did that last year, and they gave me a couple. Well, some people thought there was too much info dumping. Some people liked it. I'm like,
Mm.
okay, thanks.
That's
I
not
don't know what
useful
to do with that.
feedback. Yeah.
So it's yeah. I'm Roe did it. I told him he shouldn't. And he didn't listen to me, which is usually wise. But I mean, you pay your $22, and they don't pipe you up. They don't talk about it until it's, hey, you've been cut. And then so I don't know. I would not do because they don't. Spiffbo gives you so much more attention.
Yeah, I tried. I was too late for that. Like there was like 300, or the first year, was it last year? I tried. There's like the first 300, and I just wasn't fast enough. And then this year it was like a random picking, and so I didn't get in there. So my consolation prize myself was, oh hey, I'm going to try BBYNA. I've never done that one before, and I feel like maybe I shouldn't have done that.
So yeah, I keep telling Roe about great Comic Cons, and then he goes, and it just sucks the year that we go together. That is what we do. So this is why he doesn't listen to me.
I don't know if they're still accepting entries, but there's a huge indie book fair down in Texas that I'm a part of in October. And if anyone is in the Texas area and an author, or not even in the Texas area, but might be interested in traveling, I can send you the details if you just want to reach out to me. I don't mind doing that. So.
Oh, I thought you were going to say could crash at your place, but
that's what I was.
No, we've got the mother-in-law living with us and my terrible dogs, and
that's okay. I'm probably older than your mother-in-law, so we probably get on.
Oh, wow, she is a widow. I probably shouldn't have said that.
I'm not taking her back to Virginia with me. Just telling you that.
Fair.
And more feedback. I love the good fantasy map.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
So.
I mean, I think they're saying the book sucked.
Hey, I liked Fogbound. That was good.
Hey, I did too, so I could say it. I just like to pick on Nick.
You have to pick on Nick. He sort of makes it a priority.
I wish we could put pictures on this because I created the best. It's called Fog Roll. The Rick Astley, the Rick Roll. So I created that with a little picture of that with Rick Astley in the Fogbound book, and I get him every single time.
Fog Roll.
He gets mad at me.
Never gonna give you up.
Exactly.
And I was a teenager when that song came out.
Damn.
Did you have a big old trench coat like he did and dance like this?
I did not. I did not have the moves of Rick Astley.
Nobody does.
Oh, okay. Well, I will try to cobble together enough to give my artist something to draw. And then I will have a stat block made. And then I will let you all critique it. Teresa, I know you play D&D, and Greg, I know you're a DM.
I occasionally DM, yeah.
Uzman, Bill, do you play D&D?
I have in the past. I have, not currently.
The only time I've ever played was on, I guess I'm going to self-promo myself again, but we started this awesome indie pub game with Mike Roberti called Authors and Adventures.
Yep.
And we take an indie author, we do a one-shot in their world, and we play, stuff like that. So we already did two, but we got one coming up in a couple of weeks. But yeah, the first time I ever played was our first episode, and nice. I had no idea what we were doing.
He was dressed up and everything. It was good.
Yeah, I got a costume though, so that's what.
Nice. I don't have to watch the replays of that.
It was fun. We did it with Mike. We did it. Mike Roberti's was the first one, and then the second one we did Andrew D. Meredith in his epic saga, the Collation Saga, and then in 2 weeks we have Gregory Wonderland, who is like a professional, D&D guy that writes over and all that stuff. So I think Greg's going to be on it, and we might have Dave. I don't know if we allow him on, but we're always looking for people to play or DM. So if y'all want to take the plunge, let me or Mike know.
if you want another clueless player, I'll play. I don't know what I'm doing.
It was fun. I have never played before in my life. It was a lot of fun because I just like bumbled my way through it and talked about porridge and disc golf, and somehow it worked out.
Nice. That's solid. Porridge and disc golf.
Yep.
Yeah, I just want to play a barbarian and just charge blindly at whatever I see. That's my strategy.
Fair. I mean, it works for most people.
Yeah, I ended up taking one of my friends' characters that they made and made it into one of the main characters in one of my books, and so that was actually kind of fun. Was to just steal from the little D&D campaign. They were really excited to know that their character was going to be published.
So
nice.
Does anybody else, author-wise, do you put people in your books? Do you Tuckerize them?
In book 2 of the Binding Tenants trilogy, I've got epigraphs at the start of. So instead of doing, I did pictures for book 1 instead of subjecting my wife and making her draw 30 different unique title pictures or chapter header images. I'm just doing epigraphs, and there's a few like first name, last names that I just put my friends in and like change their names up a bit for that. So because they're all, like deceased individuals and stuff like that. So just little shout outs to them if they end up reading it. None of them have read it yet, so they can kick rocks. But I did it. So.
Usman, did I tell you you're in my book? I'm trying to remember because I put a lot of different people in Haley Traveler because I also had epigraphs and I had to attribute everything to a name. I don't know if I put you in or not. I don't.
You asked me if my name, I don't know, but
no.
I don't think so.
I don't think you're.
I don't think so.
Maybe I don't know. I can't. I had 38 chapters, sir. I had 38 different names I had to come up with. So.
Well, I'm going to be reading through it so hopefully soon. So we'll see. I'll let you know.
I know Ben Kahn made it in there, and Colin Kunzelman.
Nice.
So, yeah, they're both dead people that tried and failed at things. There's not a lot of light, and when I read my books, there's a lot of darkness, and I've actually had a couple booktubers there saying that they thought becoming a druid was grimdark, and I'm like. I don't really see it as grimdark, and the series is going to get much darker. So,
yeah. No, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that either. Yeah.
But yeah, I was telling friends at work, and we're going through. I was like, in this book, this person's going to die, and in this one, and at the end, there's a battle, and I haven't decided who's going to survive, but not many. And they're like, it's a Mike story. Everyone dies.
My type of story.
You made the puppy die. I was sad about that. That made me a little sad.
Wow. You don't kill the dog, Mike.
Exactly, right? Well, he made it as
on that website,
but it still died.
So you want to know what makes it even sadder? Is that I had a dog named Crichton who actually passed away while I was writing that.
Oh.
So, yeah. But he was a basset hound. I couldn't really put a basset hound in the story, so I had to change the dog a little.
Yeah, Tim. You turned the whole chat against you with the dog.
I'm sorry, I should have never said that.
Unrelated to people I've put in books, but I caught on to something kind of interesting that Bill did with the God's Blood tragedy. If I don't want to spoil that, but if
it's not spoil it. I put a bunch of indie or book friends book titles in there. So Tim, I put a Platinum Tinted Darkness in there. Mike Roberti, I did a Traders We Are. So I started dropping some titles as Easter eggs.
Yeah, and all as like a narration / description. So it was all in places that like it fit, right? But if you knew the title, then and recognized it, you'd be like, wait, that's a title to a book. So I screen capped it and like sent it to him. I'm like, yeah, I saw what you fucking did here. And he's like, did you catch all the movie references? And I was like, what the fuck? No, I didn't catch any of the movie references.
I have like 19 to 20 movie references in there.
Nice.
Yeah, I only named my little planets in my solar system. I like mixed the words of like Earth around and made like Blate or like Tendias was like Destiny. And I don't think anyone ever figured out like any of those until I would like tell them. They're like, oh yeah, it does that.
What are not anagrams? Is that what those are called? When they're, I don't remember. There's a word
There's
for
a word
it.
for that. Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it is.
I don't
anagram.
think it's an anagram. It might be an anagram.
Is an anagram when it's the same forwards as backwards, or is that?
That's a palindrome.
That's a
okay.
palindrome.
Okay, yeah, it's an anagram. So like Tom Riddle, I am Lord Voldemort. Like that's technically a really long, obtuse
really
anagram.
long
But
one. Yeah, exactly. So it's that,
Cool,
but with
cool.
just planet names. Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then I stole my main characters were also not the one that was from D&D, but the ones in the Spirits Entwined and Stars Calling were named after my cats. So it was Callie and Momo was Kylie and Maury. So
Oh, see, I don't change the names. I keep the people's names.
So they know who they are.
Yeah, exactly.
So do you kill off people in your books with names that you know just to see their reactions?
He definitely does.
He does.
You can't tell me anything different.
So the first time I put someone, the guy who I always go to, like I called him last night. I'm like, I want to talk about magic shovels. Give me a call. And he called me. And I don't know anyone else on this planet who would do that. But we talked about magic shovels, and he wants to be in the first book. And I'm like, okay. So I wrote him like, here's your character. You're in there. And he read. He's like, no, I wouldn't do this. I'd be the hero. You need to make me. I'm like, you're not the main character of the book. You're not going to be the hero in this fight scene. He's like, no, this is what I would do. I'm like, okay, new rules.
You're
I'll
dead.
put you in the book, but you're going to last a chapter, and I'm going to kill you. So yes, well, actually, I did not kill him. He's sea-free. If you've read the first book, and I gave him a fate worse than death, at least.
Oh man.
So no, Nick, I did not kill him. I was kind of upset. I wanted to, and I was like, no. So
You get buried with a magic shovel.
ooh, so yeah. Let's see. So before I forget, everyone, tell your friends to sign up, because if we get to 500 subscribers by the end of the year, this tattoo will become a reality.
And you just broke 300?
301 right before we start the show. So it's got to pick up the pace. We're getting about 30 a month, and that's not going to cut it till the end of the year. We'll be like 420, 430, something like that. So you got to pick up the pace.
I think if you finish the year at 420, just replace that guy with a marijuana leaf, and you're goal, dude. That's it. They're gonna be good.
So we interviewed Adrian Gibson of Mushroom Blues, and he told me if I go to Worldcon next year in Seattle, he will give me that tattoo there, because he's a tattoo artist. So
Nice.
Yeah.
you know, if we don't make it this year, we still got August of next year for me to get it. But
I'm thinking of going to that. It's a short drive.
Yeah, I talked to my wife, and it sounds like I'll be able to make it. Maybe we'll see, because we're also going to start trying to expand our family in the upcoming months. So we'll.
oh, so you're going to make it so she can't fly, so you can go by yourself.
No, if that ends up being the case, then I will not be attending. I think is how it's going to go. But
Yeah,
we'll
don't
see.
take marriage advice from me. Do not do that. Trust me.
Wasn't planning to. So.
That's just a PSA for all the tens of viewers. Okay, well, I will get to work and try to put together something coherent from this little monster we have, related to the Samboni.
Nice.
The
It might
swampy
be
version.
cousins. Distant splits down in the Mesio period, or I don't know terms.
I think the Sambonis in West Texas, and this creature. Oh, we need to come up with a name for this creature.
How about the Jabroni?
Can't let you all go without a name.
Okay, so that's getting vetoed. Fair, yeah. Fair. The lustrous steel tiger. No, I don't know. Something with the clam. No, do we want to?
The clam bone.
The clam bone.
Something with the elements and aggression, maybe. Huh.
Aggro clam.
Did you know, according to this random website I found, that pearl in Latin just means margarita? That's crazy. That can't be real. I'm gonna assume that one's not accurate. Sandbony and Grouch thing.
Just call it Dave Lawson. He's done with it.
I mean, naturally hostile. I mean, I can see it.
Bald.
Hey.
If you had him as a host, though, you could call it like Bald&Bearding. You know, I think that'd be pretty good. He's got like a little nice little beard going. I'm trying to think of like a really interesting name, and I'm blanking. Can we
kind of
play
wait
off?
for Middlefoot.
Yeah. Is there anything we can do to play off the Ankylosaurus? I know it's not really one of those anymore, but that was the root for the inspiration. So the Perlysodon,
The Anklemander.
the ankle. What's it? Is there another clam? Oysters and clams are two different things, right? Are they?
Moonosaurus.
Yeah,
Done.
they
Done.
Moonosaurus.
Chlamydiasaur? Jesus Christ, Alex. Oh,
Yeah, that sounds like a. That sounds like
That sounds
a
like something you
PPE,
catch and not a Pokemon. Like the pearlescent. No, maybe I'm focusing too much on the pearl. Let's okay. The
Moonosaurus Grouch.
the smack-tailed or the slap-tailed or the rattle-tailed gibberwock. The rattle-tailed slippered.
The Rattlesaurus.
What
about
part of the show, so I can't help the Lunosaur.
Lunosaur is not bad.
Yeah, that's good. That's
The
good.
crescent toad or the rattle-tailed Lunosaurus.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep. Oh, I like it.
Winner.
Lunosaurus.
Lunosaur dinner.
Okay. The rattle-tailed Lunosaurus, then. Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. I think we've covered everything and then some. What is anything coming up in particular? New book launch, new videos coming out that you want to tell people about before they leave in droves? Which honestly, I don't know why they haven't yet, but
because this part's interesting, obviously. I don't really have anything coming out other than the arcs for book 2, which hopefully will be ready by September 1st. I'm working hard on the edits. The title reveal is also coming. Some people probably already know the title, but I'm trying to drum up mystery and suspense.
And your novella is in Sphinx, correct?
It is, and that's Bitter Ends, and it's one of those novellas where you could buy it if you want on Amazon, but it's also, if you just go to my website and sign up to the newsletter, it's free. So I recommend that option for people that want free novellas. So
Okay. And Bill, your book just came out, right?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
hot off the press.
So old news now. Okay, got it. No, what is the book again? Can you hold it up?
Oh yeah, the
Let's see if it
sale.
shows.
Mention the
God's
sale.
Blood Tragedy. Okay.
Yeah, there is for people that are looking, there is the Narrate sale coming this weekend where there's like 300, 400 books there. So all of the Secret Scribe books that are published will be on that sale.
I somehow managed to miss that for the second time this year. How about Teresa? You have a new book coming out, or?
Not a new one. No, my latest one was the Tale of Two Curses book, but that was like a fall of last year, so it's almost a year old now. But yeah, this is the one that had my friend's D&D character as one of the main characters, and you just follow two guys who are cursed and trying to solve the mystery behind their curses while exploring a planet full of star storms and dragons and good and bad witch clans.
Nice.
Okay. And I will tell you all I'm sure you did not know, but Teresa is an aeronautical engineer, but her books are very accessible. So it's not written like you'd think an aeronautical engineer would write. They're very fun books.
And I have, so not only do I include, well, the star storms came from my love of aerospace as well. I made a planet. I'm trying to see. Oh, did I not have the map in this book? Oh, I grabbed an old book without a map. That makes me sad. But I have a map of the solar system in my books, as well as like a map of the actual fantasy world. And you can see like where like the asteroid belt is that causes like the star storms on Alir in the second book. And then, I just at the Fairfax Comic-Con last weekend. And one of the things people kept saying that they really liked was the fact that I kind of meshed together, like they're primarily fantasy books, but they all have like a sci-fi sort of twist to them with the interplanetary like travel between the two. So
young adult sci-fi fantasy mashup.
Yes, love good sci fantasy. Absolutely.
Yeah. And Usman, or do you have a video coming out, or is this one of your hiatus periods?
I've been off for a couple of months, but I got some reviews coming. A lot of self-pub stuff. I'm going through I'm going through Malazan, that series right now too, so reviewing that as well. But yeah, that's about it.
That's quite the undertaking.
Yeah.
And you just started your writing journey, so no anticipated updates on that, right? Okay.
Nah, still need a lot more ideas. Ideas are still flowing, so.
We do an unpublished writer show every month, so just keep us in mind if you have questions.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've seen a few of those.
We'll have Melissa Stone will be with us, so I'm the slacker of the group because Melissa's written 12 books. She's a proofreader and a developmental editor. Ro's written 9 books. He's a line editor. And I'm the slacker who's written 5 books and murders the English language. So I tend to moderate. But we got 3 guests coming for this end of this month, and we're always looking for unpublished writers. So if you know them, bully them if you must, but get them to contact us.
Gotcha.
So, okay. Well, on that note, I think we've all talked about our stuff. I have not started your all's books yet, but I have them because I'm good at buying them. So, okay. Well, everyone have a good night. Now it's time to wave awkwardly and wait for the